Hello and welcome to week 5 of building Naboo. Sorry for the squeaky chair. Today, as mentioned last week, we will be working on the back section of this area and the stairs to get to the main temple. So yeah, you'll have already seen this from last week's progress, but I have not, as I am yet to build it, so let's build! Okay, so as per usual, we're starting off with a Bricklink haul. This is just a little one for this week's episode, because I'm kind of like running out of money. I'm just, this Theed's starting to make me completely broke at this point, so gotta lower down those Bricklink orders. I'm just joking, of course. I wouldn't stop eating. I wouldn't stop being able to afford food just to build Theed, but you know. So yeah, this is looking pretty good. There's the first piece of this Bricklink order. It's one of these like dish pieces that are used on like TIE fighters and such. And this was only like 25p or something like that in the store. And I saw that, I was like, I can totally use that in some kind of clone base or separatist base or whatnot. This does include some parts for a different MOC I'm making. So this should go into that. But we'll pour out the rest of what's in this package. Just a little one, as I said. We'll start with this. It can't be Theed without some tan arches. I've once again got a load more of these 1x6s. Because these are super useful for those railings and whatnot. Yep, so glass, that's another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I believe, for the collection. Very good. I've also got 6 more of these smaller ones I use for windows. Very nice. And a couple more of the 1x4s. And even some 1x3s, which will be used just to slightly modify those lower platforms on the courtyards. And I think we'll make them look better as well. I've also got 2 more of these hinge plates for the temple. There's another one of those. Oh no, this is a slightly longer one. Probably was just going for cheap, is my guess. So a couple more of those tan arches. Last up, I've got this bag. I've got a couple of these olive green leaves, because they were probably going for quite cheap. And one more Naboo fighter, Naboo pilot even torsos. I'll be able to make the rest of the figure out my own pieces, but I just wanted another one running around. So yeah, that's that little Bricklink haul. Let's jump to some building. Okay, so first up, I want to talk about the lampposts. Last week I got a lot of comments about these and how I said I didn't entirely like them the way they were. They are slightly starting to grow on me, but there were a couple of comments that gave me some ideas on what to do with these. One of the biggest ones was to implement these Technic. I'm not entirely sure what their names are, but my problem with that is, just knock that to the floor. My problem with these are that whilst they do definitely get rid of that ring problem that I had, I don't think these pieces have ever come in dark bluish grey, which is the colour I need for these lampposts, because of the way I want to do specific things in the MOC. So whilst this is super helpful and a much better way of doing things, unless I switch the whole thing to light bluish grey. I'll have a think about it and I'll get back to you next episode about it, because this week I'm working on a different part of the MOC. So let's have a look at the base. Okay, as you can see now, we've made a good bit of progress. Well, not a ton of progress, but progress nonetheless. As you can see, I've wrapped 2 layers of plates around the bottom of this, and then just put random miscoloured snot bricks all around the side, keeping grey ones to these corners, because those are more likely to be seen. The reason I have left snot bricks off the back of this will be seen in another part to this video to explain exactly what's going here. but to let you know it's going to be very exciting. Yeah, and I've copied the same thing over here. My next process is to take this big clump of plates and just rip them off. So I've got a bunch of these, and then just snap them onto the side and copy that all the way around to create basically that side of the platform, but much bigger, to create some real walls of the base of this palace. Okay, that was a lot quicker than the last part took to film. As you can see, the quickest way to bulk up any build is just to put a ton of plates on their sides. Look at that, it's starting to look much bigger now, and you can start to see how big my background, it's not really a background, just the back wall of buildings is going to be. So my current plan stands is this central area from like here to here, that's going to be the main temple. And then I'm going to have 2 towers on either side going up. And then I'm not sure what I'm going to have in the middle or like around them, and how I'm going to work like paths and stuff. But for the time being, these sides will all have the same kind of detail that these sides things have, with just a mixture of plates and tiles and whatnot. The back side I'm not sure of yet, if I've got enough tiles to cover all of this. I'm going to work on those first, then the sides probably, because they're quite small. And then depending on how much I've got, I'm going to do the back. But most likely these are just going to be left blank, because the back side isn't largely going to be seen, as this is quite facade-like, except for maybe something in the middle, as alluded to before. The only bit of plates I couldn't get down was this small gap here, because they would just stick with each other, and I'm going to use these pieces to fill them in, because I can't think of a use for them in the mock. I'll probably just, when I finish building, I'll have thought of something for these, but for the time being they're going to be stuck here, just on their sides, so when you look in the back, all that's nice and covered up, but you can't even see because of how badly lit it is. I just realised I forgot to do the fronts of these, but that's a similar, just plate style. And then up next, I think I'm going to have to work on the stairs to figure out what I'm going to do to the left and right side, so stair design coming up next. Okay, so I haven't worked on the stairs like I said I would. I've instead spent a good amount of time reinforcing each of these panelled walls, so they're a lot more sturdy on both sides around here. And what I've created is a couple of very large gaps in here. Now what I could do is fill this with stuff, like put like rooms and whatnot and fancy scenes and everything in here. I'm kind of thinking against that idea. One, because I'm kind of like out of ideas for what this mock's going to be. Like, I don't really know what's in Theed besides like the throne room and other like scenes from the Darth Maul fight, but I could create rooms like this, but they'd have to be a maximum of that 8 studs tall. If I were to like break away this wall, it's questionable. Okay, so I've just, instead of working on the stairs, I realised I needed to do some reinforcement work on these walls. So that's what I've spent the last like half an hour, 45 minutes or so doing, just putting these plates on and these snot bricks and these pillars all around all of this. What that's allowed me to do is to leave some pretty large gaps in each of these rooms, and now this will either lead to one of two things. One is I just fill this up with filler bricks to make this a really strong centered building, so none of these buildings have any fear of falling down whatsoever. My other option is to make some of these plates like go away and just having like the top and the sides to create some windows, and then make some rooms inside of these. That would be more fun and would make the MOC look better, but unfortunately I'm not sure if that's going to be a possibility. One, for 3 reasons actually. One, the sturdiness. That's probably the biggest problem, is that this is it's sturdy with just my hand, but I'm not sure when all the stuff that's going to be on top of it will be there just how sturdy it will end up. The second is ideas. I don't know what to put inside of these rooms, especially because of the space. They're not going to be able to fit any vehicle really whatsoever. I do have a plan for this room, as I've said in every single part, but this does have a plan going to it, which you will see in whichever part that's a part of. Probably next week actually, I might get to start working on this. And then the third option is parts. This MOC has really started to drain my tan parts, and I haven't even gotten to some of the bigger tan buildings yet. As you can see, this tray over here has all of my tan bricks in it, and you can see it's not a lot. It's like those are all my curved bricks. That's all my, and I've just dropped over a ton of dark green. That's cool. Those are all my 1x bricks. I've got all my 2x bricks somewhere else with all my other 2x bricks, because all my 2x bricks go together. But yeah, so I don't have a ton there. So I think what's ultimately going to happen is I'm going to leave them empty for now, maybe make some just very simple, easy to remove columns of brick that I can take out if need be, and then towards the end, when I've built the towers and the temple, then based on how many parts I've got left, that's when I'll decide if I want to make interior rooms or not. Yeah. Actually, I've just had another thought. Thinking about it, if you look at a lot of the interior rooms in Thede Palace, I'm taking most of my inspiration from this MOC off of Battlefront 2. I'd say a lot of it could work as dark tan, with just a little bit of tan inside. And I've got, that's all my 1x dark tan bricks. I think I might be able to wing it. I'd definitely be able to do 1 room. I'm not sure about 2. Yeah, let's do 1. This side over here, because it's easier for me to build on, I guess. Let's do 1 and build a room in here, and we'll see how that turns out. Let's have a look. Okay, so I've spent a bit of time on here. This is going to be the main throne room seen very often in Naboo. Mainly in episode 1 this is shown. So there's the main chair that Amidala uses, and there's a couple of like other councillors' chairs. I looked at a lot of pictures online, and these were generally close to what they look like. There was less brown, but like this was the best approximation I could find. They look a bit like not really Star Warsy, but this was the best I could come up with. This one looks more accurate, I guess, with the table. Yeah, this circle should be a bit bigger on the floor. And I would like to use tiles on the floor, except this is all my 2x tiles that I've got left. And I'm not even sure if they're going to be able to cover the outside of this, so I'm definitely not going to waste them on the base of this. Maybe if I get some more, I might be able to use it on them. But at the current rate, it's not looking like that's going to be a possibility, unfortunately. But yeah, as well as the table, I'd like to have a little bit more tiled off. The windows behind, I would ideally like to use these type of windows instead of those ones, but those were just the only ones I had in tan, and I didn't want to order a ton of these because they're just expensive when they wouldn't make that much difference to what I've already got. So I'm not sure what I'm going to put behind these because I can't have this isn't like accurate to where it actually is in the palace, but just is something to have here as part of Theed. So my one idea is to either put white bricks behind it, just so it looks like light coming in, or my other option is to do like if I just get like a plate and like build a backdrop and slide it in, like if I put blue on the top to make a sky and then some really small tan details to make like other buildings of Theed in the bottom to give it like a look. I'm not sure if that would work or not, but we can see how that pans out. These pillars to the side I think look pretty good for what they are. They should realistically be about here and here, but I think that just gives something to the corner of this room, because in reality the room is quite rounded and this is obviously a big rectangle, so I think that fits a bit better. My current least favourite part are the walls. This is a temporary wall. This isn't my plan for the final thing. It's just made up a ton of these 1x2x5 bricks, which I like using. I didn't actually realise I had so many of in tan, but yeah, I'll find another use for these in the actual build, probably to build up for the towers because they're tall. So yeah, I'm planning to use dark tan, a little bit of regular tan, and maybe even some dark orange, because that might look quite good in here as well. And then I'm going to pose some... I don't have an Amidala as of currently. The only Amidala I have is the episode 1 version where she's in Tatooine. So she's got the complete wrong outfit on. So that's unfortunate. So I'm going to have a look around eBay and Bricklink, but they're not cheap there. So I may have, especially like the actual Queen version, she goes for like 70 quid minimum, and I'm like, I'm not doing that. And then the episode 2 version is an episode 2 version. So I'm thinking currently about taking the episode 2 hair and face and putting it onto like another random dress. But then I looked on Bricklink and no one is selling the face in the UK. The hair I can get quite cheaply for less than £1. So I'll get that, but I'm not sure what to do with the rest of the figure. Or even when I'm going to set this room up, or what's going on in here. So I'm going to rework the walls and let's have a look at those. That's what's coming up next. Okay, so in the process of rebuilding this room, I just wanted to show you this little insert of the background that's going to go behind the window. I've got a nice little cloud, some light blue tiles and some green grassland. I've just made some little towers with some tan plates and sand green studs and a grey tile along the bottom just to represent floor. So it's just going to slot right in there behind the windows so you can kind of see some kind of background. It almost looks a bit cartoony, but I quite like that style. So yeah, I think it looks pretty good. Okay, so it's been a while since the last little update I've made. As you can see, I've pretty much finished this whole throne room. And I'm really happy with the way it's come out. As I showed you before, I've got the little window insert. It's kind of hard to pull out, but it's in there, the window insert, which you can just about see in the background. It's a little bit dark. You can see it there with the cloud and like the grass to the right. I like how all the chairs have come out. I like how they're placed. I've put these 2 pillars behind them. They should really be in front, but I feel like that would block too much if they were in front of them. I've come up with just quite a simple wall design of just putting dark orange in between some dark tan, which I think looks pretty good. The light designs I think are pretty accurate to how they look in Theed, if not maybe a little bit too big. And the doors designs is ones that I've used before but look quite accurate to Theed, so I've just kept them like that. Those are just spring loader shooters on their sides. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this has turned out. As you can see, I've built it like fully into the floor, almost like a basement design. This is going to be the height of the platform for the main area. So I think whatever building I put in here, I'm going to have it modular so it can be lifted out. Just because I think if I just get like, this is my box of plant pieces, if I cover it and you try and look inside, it's really hard to get a gauge of details. So I'm going to have it modular so when I actually show it off properly, you can get some good light in. And yeah, that's that side for now. So I'm just gonna probably finish off this week's episode here, unfortunately, because I'm out of time towards when I need to upload this video. So next week we will try and finish out these rooms over here and the stairs, which I've said a billion times I need to get to work on, but I just really want to work out how I'm doing these rooms first. I have a plan for this room. It's pretty obvious what it's going to be when you think of Theed Palace and things that go on there. But this room I'm not too sure of. So if you can give me any plans in the comments on what I can put in here. I'm thinking of doing a slightly, either A micro scale hangar, or B, I'm just going to do like just some corridors in this style. If you can think of any specific rooms in Theed that I could do there in like this sort of scale, like a micro scale, if that makes sense, and I might put that in. But currently the idea is a hangar for in here that isn't going to be anywhere near accurately sized. So yeah, we've got all that to enjoy. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked the video, make sure to drop a like. If again, for things like the hangar or any other improvements I can make, drop a comment and subscribe for more. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.